try anything. This is just us. Technically, no character. Do I go off on tangents on stories that probably never happened? Yeah, most likely. But I always tell people that if what I'm talking about is a true story or not. So this is a true story. I've been doing stand up comedy for a very long time now. I've been hosting a stand up comedy show for the last year and a half at this bar uh, in Pomona. Now, I've been doing this joke that I featured sometimes on this channel, which is the paranormal investigations. I'll host the show, I'll do my stupid paranormal jokes, and then I go on my merry way. Now, the last few times that I've done this, some of the employees and some of the patrons have come forward to tell me that they've had experiences with the paranormal. So I'm always respectful when it comes to people and their experiences and stuff. So I've always tried to stay very lighthearted about it. I don't antagonize anything. Like I'm not the type to pull out a tape recorder and start yelling into an empty room. I will do it in front of a live audience because it's funny. But as far as like when I really investigate shit, when shit really goes down, I'm always respectful. Uh, I don't try to communicate with anything directly. If it exists, it exists, and it should talk to me. Like I don't talk to you; you talk to me. I'm hosting a comedy show. If you want to be on the show, you gotta, probably send me a DM, and maybe you need to submit a clip. And as far as I know, most ghosts aren't going to do that. So instead of a Kinect camera or a Ouija board, no, it's technically an open mic. And if the ghosts are real, you got to show up. You got to do a hot 5 minutes. And once you do the hot 5 minutes, yeah, you get validated as a ghost, and that's true story. Hashtag paranormal. You know. So, anyways, uh, evidently, this bar, right? You've got. I heard that they have a guy with a top hat, and he appears on top of the set of stairs. Then they also have reports of a little girl running around. And I've always heard like there's just they always coincide. If you get one story of we got a large, an obscure man ghost, you're always gonna have a little kid ghost for some reason. But they just say, okay, we see them in the corner, we see them standing at the foot of stairs. The one that I was like, oh shit, okay, now we're gonna actually start looking into this. I was doing a live stream. It's called Tropical Nights. It's on this channel. Now, nothing happens on the live stream. You don't see anything. But after that show, some of the people that were playing pool came up to me and they said that I was actually funny that night, which was a surprise. But they said that at one point when they were setting their balls, their pool balls, um, all of a sudden it jerked and sent their balls flying. I didn't see anything. I didn't I don't remember seeing any kind of giant reaction because you would think, if this happens. But what I am gonna do for sure is I'm gonna take a level. Like we're 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 getting deep with this, okay? We're gonna go see exactly what or why did it. What does that mean? Let's do these outer space starters. Hello, Sean Wilson. Um we have like a rule here, Sean Wilson. You got to be funny when you troll. But if you come in with something random and weird, it is cause to get banned because you just kind of distract the show. So if it's not funny, if it's just random and weird, you do get banned. Apparently, it's tough. It's a tough gig. Now, if you're a stand-up comic, right, and you've disclosed, or I know that you're a stand-up comedian, perfectly allowed to chime in whatever the fuck you want. But if you're some random idiot, um, I'm sorry. You have to either be funny or we take you out. Anyways, so we're not sure what this guy is trying to say. So unfortunately, we do have to remove you. We do apologize for that. Either it's funny, you control me, you can make fun of me, you can do whatever. But anyways, so I'm gonna take a level. I'm gonna go see what's going on with this pool table. But I've never seen anything, I've never experienced anything. And the real reason why I'm even doing any of this is because in the event that I do capture some bullshit, right? Or maybe I get a video or somebody sends me an image of something that they've seen. I'll disclose. I'll be like, okay, this is something real in terms of what they feel that they saw or evidence that they've captured. Because honestly, I don't think I'll ever record anything on there. I do have a rule when it comes to paranormal investigations. My hair does not fucking stay. Anyway, all the lights stay on. Okay. If you're looking for a ghost, all the lights stay on. The bullshit of turning off the lights is the biggest hustle ever perpetuated because it just makes their shows more interesting. The scarier it is, the longer you're going to watch. So all of these paranormal investigators, they got used to turning off all the lights. They don't even have night vision cameras anymore. It's a green light. I've done it on this channel before because I'm making fun of them all the time. So you just get a green light and then you point a camera in one direction. Most people are going to think it's night vision camera. And here's my question: why do ghosts only appear on night vision cameras? Are they hiding from the United States military? What's the point of that? If a ghost is real, if that motherfucker can just show up, right? A full-blown apparition that gets light, like you get hit with light and then you cast a shadow. Okay. It doesn't matter what camera you're using, you should be able to capture it regardless. I say that as a stand-up comedian. So like I've said, been doing all these paranormal jokes. I do like this fake paranormal investigation. Bar tells me they do have actual ghosts there. So I'm like, okay, fine. We're going to do real paranormal investigations now. Only they're going to be incredibly boring. We're going to have all the lights on. It's probably going to be like 3 minutes long. And I'm going to sit there very, very quietly. And the rule is this, like I've said, if a ghost is real, you got to come on the mic and you got to do a hot 5 minute set. So you, even if like a thing appears, that's not enough. You got to do 5 minutes of stand-up comedy to be validated as a ghost. Because I'm tired of the Kinect camera shit. I'm tired of the Ouija board shit. Let's really raise that level of thing. Like, can your favorite streamer do a hot 5 minutes? I don't know. Right. But if a ghost is real, right, they should be able to DM you. Hey, hello, Mr. Cheese. How are you? We are doing a real show today. This is me without any act. I'm not pretending to be anyone or doing anything. This is as real as Chaotic Industries as I do. But hello, Cheese. How are you? Welcome back. Hello, U.S. Army C2. If you were in the Army, thank you for your service. But we are talking about the haunted bar I've been doing stand-up comedy at. I've never experienced anything. I am one of those people that gets vibes. You're tired but can't sleep. Well, we hope that we can get you there. Um, I can tell a story. Usually, if I tell stories, people will knock out. That is what this live stream is called. True story, hashtag paranormal. It's technically the first live stream I ever did, or the title I ever did, because I was just trying to practice my stand up comedy. So, anyways, um, we are going to be taking this haunted bar a lot more seriously. Um, but so we had the show on Wednesday, and again, we didn't experience anything. Um, oh, this poor guy, this poor man. So the the thing with that is, I'm gonna just have the live stream going. Okay, if we see something, experience anything, there's a live stream going. But I'm gonna have my stand up comedy show, and then if shit goes down, it was all live, right? Now, one thing I do want to get into at one point is because for my paranormal investigations, right, we always admit that it's fake because we're just trying to be funny. Um, but I do want to see if I could ever make a Pepper's ghost one day, because that's one shit with like just all the paranormal investigations is they'll fake everything except the coolest part. Like, at least that's one thing I like about some of the live streams, the paranormal live streams on here. If you ever see them, there are these people. They go to like cemeteries. These are down in Mexico, and they're on here on YouTube. But they go down to the cemeteries, and they have one of their buddies dress up as something. Like you're dressed all raggedy or something that makes them look evil. Anyways, I think you can just search like live paranormal investigations, and they'll capture real stuff or real people going across the camera, but it's not real. And my thing has always been like, when you double down on it, that's what makes you a scammer. That's where it's like, okay, you're you're hustling people. For me, I'm like, okay, look, I make jokes about the paranormal, and I have been doing jokes or comedy at a haunted place, and I still haven't experienced anything. All right, well, that was one point that we were going to be talking about today on True Story hashtag Paranormal. Just kind of explaining some of the shorts that we do or that we have on here. There is one thing I did want to ask you guys. Have you seen or do you like AI stand up comedy? So either you've seen like almost the comedian is AI generated, or they take a real comedian and then they AI generate stand up comedy as though they were saying it. Is that something you like? Because what I'm seeing now is more and more stand up comics are using AI to not just generate flyers for promotion, but it looks like they're using AI to write their jokes. Which, when it comes to stand up comedy, I mean, it's kind of a no no to steal jokes. So, where did your AI learn to write all these jokes that you're now hustling as your own? Uh, it's going to be a nice little wave of influencers completely AI generated. Whereas before it was like the you know attractive influencers, right? They got, but now it's gonna be AI comedians. That's gonna be the next thing, and it's gonna piss off all the real comedians. They're gonna be like, oh man, people are liking this AI comic more than me. And it's like, well, you're the one that was using AI. You trained it. You trained your own replacement. And it's getting like more comedians that I know of are starting to use AI for their flyers, and it's almost like a desperation because they know you don't have time or anything, but you start using it for your flyers, then they start using it for their jokes, and you can hear it. You can hear in how they talk and how the joke is structured. It's very wordy. The punchlines are like how to topical most of the time, and you can tell usually if you use an AI to make your flyer, most likely your set has been AI generated as well. And I had a boss that told me he was being a writer, or he was trying to be a writer. Hello, Cheese, how are you? We just asked if you've seen some AI comedy recently, like AI generated stand up comedy, and what's your opinion on that? So I've okay, good. So for right now, it's still something you have to search, but oh, something I was fucking saying right now. It's gonna get a lot more popular. Like I'm just calling this out now. Well, like this is what made me wake up to it. I guess I was seeing a video of Richard Pryor, and I was like, dang, this is pretty nice. And then I look at the comment section, and they're saying, wow, AI is scary. And apparently, yeah, it wasn't a real video of Richard Pryor. So it was an AI generated script of it pretending to be like what Richard Pryor could have said. Oh, that's what I'm saying. So I had a boss that was trying to be a writer, and he suggested to me that I should use ChatGPT when I type up my company emails, because he uses ChatGPT when he's writing his stories for his books. And I was like, whoa, like you better disclose that to your audience, because if there's one way that you want to get canceled as an artist, is to use AI and not disclose it. And that's what's going on with stand-up comedy right now. There's this growing little circle, little bubble of comedians that think it's harmless to use AI for your flyers, and then you start using AI to write jokes, and then you start using AI for your dumb videos. Like, so instead of like recording skits or sketches with their friends, they're just typing in AI and they're making AI generated comedy videos. So, one, training your own replacement, and B, once you hit that level of recognition, you're just going to have a bunch of people going, "Hey, this is AI generated." I this is kind of what made me go on this rant. Was following somebody that I loved. Okay, it was a YouTuber and he sings karaoke and I loved him. I thought he was great. I loved watching his live streams. All he does is sing karaoke. Anyways, the last few videos were him AI dancing, and it was just AI generated slop basically. And the comments are kind of turning on him, and I ended up unsubscribing. And I felt really bad because I was like, I love this guy. Dang, it's almost 1 a.m. Mr. Cheese, if you want to go to sleep or if you want to have me in the background, by all means. But I do not want to keep you up. Um, if anything, we are hoping my rant can help you go to sleep. Um, but I was just so taken back by this author, my former boss or one of my former boss, telling me that he uses AI to write his stories. And then I'm like, whoa, what else? Like how many interactions a day do you have with someone that's just completely AI? And I with comedy, like what I was saying is okay, so that machine that learned it from a bunch of other stand-up comedians. So it ripped off YouTube, it probably ripped off comedy books, it's ripped off a bunch of stuff, and then it's gonna slowly bleed into your set. You're essentially stealing jokes at that point. And to you, it's just Chat GPT or Sora or whatever. No, you're good. I'm keeping myself up because I sleep. Oh, do you Oh, I totally get you. You can't find that comfort zone. Um, no, I feel you. It's it's a struggle. I used to work in the medical field and I just try to mimic what they used to position the pillows for the patients where like you just try to I don't know, carry your I use a lot of pillows to I think the best bed would be a free fall. Like think about that. Like if that's your bed, right? You don't splatter, but you're just literally free falling all night. There's no I mean, I guess that's terrifying, but like you don't feel the sensation. It's not scary. It's not like a scary abyss, but just completely weightless, right? That would be great. Uh I anyways, yeah, I've had this rant for a while, but I think earlier I unsubscribed from literally one of my favorite YouTubers because I saw that he was just gonna start using and posting AI slop now, and it broke my heart. I was like, dang, like it's the hands-on type of art is going to get more valuable as AI gets bigger. So I'm not scared of AI because I know that the more artisanal stuff gets, the more popular it can also be. But in terms of quantity, it's always going to be a war against like how much I can produce versus somebody who's using AI. The thing with if you're generating images, right? For now, AI's caught up to that and you're good. But when it comes to stand-up comedy, uh no, you're it's obvious, so obvious when a comedian is using Chat GPT to write their jokes now. And I've started to pick it up so much because once you how do I put it? Once you learn how AI generates stuff, you can start picking up on like, oh, okay, you this machine ripped off this thing and then it ripped off this thing and we can totally get it. Like most of the time it's ripping off My Little Pony, right? So the the shit with stand up is who it's ripping off. So you're going to have some new comic not knowing that they're ripping off the greats because they're using these AI machines to write their jokes. And um it's with Amazon right now. It's happening with the books, right? You have all of these AI generated books that are just selling like cuz crazy cuz nobody really cares. It's just for one thing. And with comedians right now, uh they're posting, so what's the agenda today? Hello Raj. We are trying to promote real art. We're trying to like hand like when you made it with your hands like I'm not done with this. I should really finish this painting, but like this is acrylic. You get me? I can't. You can probably AI generate this because that's not a finished artwork. So, but so it's basically going on, right? So if they're not using the AI to write their jokes on stage, they're using it to make these videos. But you're still training it how to be funny. You're training it how to be humorous. To me, I believe eventually going to take over. So might as well just be nice to it. But don't be surprised when it replaces you because you were the one typing up these funny little videos. I've had to mute some people on Instagram, and I try not to promote my own Instagram because I don't want people going up over there. It'll turn out really, really. Thank you so much. Yeah, my drawing beaches, or let me see if I find another beaches. It's one of my favorite things. Um, oh, this one was actually there's a bunch of shorts on my channel for this one. The why is this so hard? Yeah, this one I drew. How long? I think like 2 days or so. Um, but it's so relaxing to paint universes. If you're trying to relax, you're having a bad day, get some acrylic paint. You don't need that many colors. And I did most of this with my hand. If you use a brush, here's one I took longer and I used a brush with. So you don't need that many colors. Oh my god, I suck at putting stuff in front of this camera. Um, but yeah, if you use a brush, you can get a better effect with it. But you can just have fun, literally finger paint your way. So, um, if you guys are interested in a tutorial, I'll do like a whole video on it. But um, a lot of it, you don't have acrylic paint cheese. Okay, you can do this with watercolor. Um, you just have to be very thin. I love watercolor. It's cheap. Um, if you go the more expensive route, it's always worth it because it'll last forever. But to me personally, it's just in terms of like what I'm gonna paint to relax, a universe or a beach. I like keeping it simple. I tried knife painting before, but it's really, really hard. Yeah. Oh, like let me get it. Like palette knife, like this. Because I you don't have watercolor. You could try the digital. I think there's some free apps on your phone. Um, I've noticed that with this, if you hold it, um, you don't kick. Wow, look at the label. Let me know what it's like. But anyways, when it comes to knife painting, I've always thought of like running it like if it's a razor blade, like if I'm shaving. I don't know, but you just kind of glide. To me, it's just I don't know how to explain this. Like, I'll try to grab it very lightly. Um, Depends on what type of thickness of paint you're using. You want to like just let it just kind of touch the canvas, and then you run the knife as gently as possible. I'm trying to. I've never described what I do before, but um, it's Bob Ross is the one. I mean, that taught everyone how to do that, but it's this idea of thin goes on thick. Um, so if you've already laid on a thick layer, come in with a thinner layer if you want to start putting. I hate this so much. My hair will never. But okay, well maybe the way I comb my hair, right? So I'm gonna just do it very gently as possible. Okay, I just want to guide the paint back in. So basically like that. You get me? If I don't want to like do this or anything, and I don't want to be mushing the paint in. I don't know why I'm doing that on my hair, but I'm guessing if I can comb my hair and explain the point at the same time, that's nice. Um, this is a true story. Hashtag paranormal. That's the live stream. Um, you might have temporas if you don't know what type it is. Usually the when you get like some random type of paint from the store, it's either a tempora or a cheap acrylic. Either one is fine though. It's all layers at the end of the day. You've never paint. Yeah, to me it's well like I just said. So to me, painting is just a layer. It's just a physical film that you're gonna put on top of another little sliced thin piece of film. You feel me? So especially with acrylic, the way it dries, it can be very translucent or transparent, and that's how you get this effect. So if you like, I think you can see the live stream of how I painted this, but so let's start right here, right? So let's say if I was trying to paint this my rules are start from lightest to where I'm gonna go darkest. So right here, I probably used a lot of white and yellow. That was my first layer. And then because I know green is going to match with that, that's most likely the next layer that came in. And then I saved my blues for last because of my black also being like one of the last layers that I'm going to do. So these two are going to be nice and dark. I'm going to be able to cut up my painting, but I'm going to start lightest to darkest when it comes to acrylic. Oil is a different monster. But let's see. I never looked any tutorials. I'm just trying to get. Oh, nice. Good for you, Raj. Thanks for the tip. Of course, anytime. That's what Chaotic Industries is for, I guess. Um, it's a lot with feeling. Once you get a good feeling, and by feeling it, it's not so much creativity. I'm talking about like how long has the paint sat on the canvas, and you'll get a feeling, an idea of like how wet and what the texture is going to be. The more you paint, this is I think what people say, like the more you paint, the better you get. And it's like with any skill. But I know for me, it's almost like I have an internal clock. Like from the moment I take the paint out of the tube, I have a good idea of what the texture is going to be like, whether it's acrylic, tempera, oil, whatever, at a certain time. So 5 minutes, 30 minutes later, right? So acrylic, you have a short period of time. So you treat it almost like watercolor. You try to get these thin layers on. And that's the cool thing about acrylic is if you look at some of my videos on here, you can see how I'll have like a nice layer and then it gets overcrowded by a different one. I'm bad at managing contrasts while layering. Uh, it's okay. So that one's the color wheel. You gotta go with color theory. I'll whip out this one because it's not finished, so we can kind of see what I'm trying to do. I have a cat next to me, and it's annoying because I'm trying to. Yeah, you must hit the cat. Hit the cat. Okay, sorry. Don't hit the cat. All right. So right here, right. Um. So when it comes to contrasting, you go with you try to stay on like the same color wheel side of it, and then you go directly after. So that's my rule of it. Okay. So I'm trying to contrast this orange. I'm gonna go deep red, and then I'm gonna go over here to my blue. So that to me is my reasoning of how I'm going to approach contrasting this color, right? So this orange right here. So I'm gonna complement it with the red, and then I'm gonna have these blues around it. So then I'm gonna just repeat that on the water because the water is supposed to be reflecting. So in theory, when it comes to painting a beach, I just have to think about which side I want to look pretty and then reflect it on the other side. So I haven't put the videos for this one out yet because it's still a work in progress. No, I'm not hitting the cat. Don't hit the cat. Okay, so the but you want to think of that, right? So where did the color sit on the color wheel, right? So again, so this was not finished. So I'm trying to start with like a very light green over here, but I'm gonna keep this nice dark blue over here. So they're kind of on the same end of the color wheel, but because we're going to use different tones, that's how I'm going to start contrasting. So now you start talking about darks and lights and all of that. To me, it's what does this scene call for? Where does your light come from? So you can start contrasting stuff all you want, but if you're breaking like the rules of light, if you know you have different light sources and all of that, it's just gonna make your painting look very oversaturated. Like you're not gonna get this night. Like that's why with this light right now, I'm trying to have it in a spot where I get some nice dark shadows versus having like everything lit up. So that's kind of a better example too of contrasting. So it's not all the way black, right? So you can contrast with different tones, or you're going to contrast with a different value. But to me, the way I approach it is I want this to pop out. I want this to stand back, right? So otherwise, you're going to get wrapped up in what color goes where and what color does what. Just think of that. Like, what's your scene? Where does the light come from? Who's the focus or what's the focus of it? With art, you get to break rules. That's what I love about art. Once you learn the rules, you get to break them. Okay. So you can have whatever you want in focus as long as you're following the rules of everything else in the back. Yeah. Thank you so much, Raj. I'm trying to not rant too much and try to stay on topic. But yeah, one thing that I think helped me a lot is art history. Just jump into whatever era when the stream is over. um, Go into I would say start with Renaissance artists and see how the difficulty they had to go to. I mean, they had entire teams of people mixing their art for them, and then they would come around and be like, "Okay, yeah, put this stroke here." And back in the day, like being an artist, you're employed by the state. You get your commissions from the church or the state, and it's a whole thing. It's almost like public works, like fixing the street, basically. So you had a Renaissance artist, and that was your job. And all right, we have this project here, we need this painting of Jesus and Jezebel. And so they spend months and teams painting all this shit. So the point there though is just to get a nice little glaze right here, right, would take months for an oil painting. So you can get this highlight, right? You just use white paint. But to start getting these glazes, like these nice shadows on oil, you have to put a layer of like almost like a translucent layer, and you start glazing it. But that was to me the idea of glazing, which I think was the whole point of this. So look up glazing in the Renaissance art. Know that you're not going to do it ever because we've accelerated technology. But when you get the concept of, okay, we all have eyeballs. The eyeballs are curved. The eyeballs have this like fluid going through them, and that messes with the way the light hits our eye and curves and does all this stuff. Okay, so if I start putting these translucent layers on whatever the hell this eyeball is looking at, I start tricking that eyeball to say, hey, this is actually in shadow, and this what do you struggle with painting? Um, I think nowadays it's really been having to record and paint at the same time. Um, it can really kill the, how do I put it, the motivation to want to paint. Because if you look at the rest of my channel, I have my drawing stream, and the reason why I started that drawing stream was one to like get into animation eventually, but also to get better at painting altogether. So I feel confident that I could paint anything and do practically anything. I know straight lines, right? Well, straight lines, you just try to put your whole arm into it. But anyway, so um, to me, it really is sitting down, getting organized, and just doing the painting and doing the work. And it could be a number. I mean, I haven't had the best last few years. I've had a lot of issues with my mental health. And so that can be like one of the biggest issues as an artist is if you have bad mental health, you'll have like this double-edged sword. You can have a really creative night because you're freaking crazy, or you're going to be hindered. You're going to have days where you don't get out of bed, you don't want to do anything, you don't feel like going out or being inspired or or doing it much. One thing that comes with depression, that's my gig, is laziness, that you just kind of creeps up on you. So washing the brushes, washing stuff, keeping things organized. If you draw crazy, like let's say you're an insane person, right? And it's happened to me where like I'll go off the deep end and I'll end up painting 3 paintings on the same day. But they'll be kind of a mess afterwards, right? And you got to consider, okay, now you've got this mess to contend with, and are you going to paint again? And so that's my biggest issue is usually that is my mental health will be like just complete shit. And then unless I'm like in a certain bad state of mind, which is still not healthy, will I dish out some paintings? Do I have one of my psycho ones here? I don't know. Well, actually, if you think of it, this is actually this is what I would paint if I'm going crazy. So if you there's a few other ones, but I don't have it near. I'm not gonna start whipping them out. So no, I don't have ADHD cheese. I don't know, I don't think so. But no, I just get really, really, really sad. That's why I'm a comedian. That's why I do stand-up comedy. It's crippling sadness. Do you think before what you're going to paint or paint? Okay, that's a good one. Again, so it depends. I have. Oh, there we go. We have. I had a painting on here, so I usually do. Let me. Okay, you know what? That is a good one. So this one right here, right? I kind of this was still not finished too. This is just this is the live stream of unfinished artwork. Um, so here I did the lines first. I think pen or pencil, maybe just a Sharpie, and then I've been coming back layer by layer and just filling it in and redoing the lines as I need to. But I know that I wanted to put a boat in it. I don't want to shake this, and then I wanted to put a UFO in it. Um, for me, I just start painting randomly and then trying to. Yeah, that's always fun. That's how I usually end up with like these universes, or you can do a beach that way. I am missing a painting, and I need to go find it. But I don't know. I'm actually quite concerned that I'm missing a painting because if somebody stole that, wait, I mean, it would make sense that if somebody were to come in here, they would steal that painting. So I think it's inside. I'm gonna hope to God that it's inside. I mean, it's a compliment if somebody. I've had one painting stolen before, but I had already given it to somebody. It's technically the first oil painting I ever made. And I didn't sign it because I'm one of those weirdos that like I don't like putting my name on stuff because I feel it takes away from the image. Um, so my first oil painting, it was like a desert landscape with a guitar, very beautiful oil painting inspired by Gerudo Valley. Um, and my friend was living with his girlfriend. They broke up, and his girlfriend stole it. And but here's the thing, man. If I get famous, that thing is worth so much money. Like imagine like if I become a famous historical artist, how crazy expensive that thing. And I gave it away. It was just I gave it to him for being my friend. I'm that type of person. I give away if I feel one, if oh my god, dude, this shit almost came crashing down on me. But yeah, if I feel that you like a painting or you're really connected with something, I'll just probably give it to you. Um, I tried to make a flip book once, but never finished it. Oh, that'd be cool. Um, yeah, is that like to that you make like little animations on it? I should probably get that. That sounds funny. Actually, I'd be interested in getting one of those. Um, yeah, I have Krita. I've done one cartoon on here. We haven't gone back because it's almost a pain to keep doing it. But I wanted to learn Photoshop first and also video editing, so that's what I've been focusing on. And I'm proud to say we passed our online classes, people. I am now a certified. I have a certificate and everything. I'm a certified Adobe Premiere some BS thing, but I learned how to do Photoshop officially now, and I learned how to use Adobe Premiere Pro officially now, like online classes. That's why, word of advice: if you're ever employed somewhere, and they cross a line, you might get compensated. Okay, so I used to teach respiratory therapy, and then who I worked for messed up so bad they did something so wrong that now I get to edit videos and be an animator. So, um, but yeah, that's one thing I've always been interested in is making my drawings move, making my paintings move. So one thing I know I want to do is just make scenes in Blender, like similar like to the paintings that I do, but just nice videos to look at, like nothing special. It's just nice ambient videos. I've always liked those, like I don't know, getaway videos, almost travel but not really travel. um it's interactive, like, or how do I put it, like it's just art, like a movie that is just a scene, Like that's one thing I've always wanted to do is just make little fun cartoons, basically. And if that's 3D rendered or 2D, it doesn't matter. I have ADHD. It's fun. Well, good for you, Cheese. We're glad you enjoy your ADHD. Um, I did want to plug something real quick. Phil's Coffee. I'm not sponsored by Phil's Coffee, but if you're looking for some energy, man, dude, I've been like crazy. I'm not sponsored by them. I saw the cup of coffee. You're talking about ADHD, and I'm like, you know what? I wish I had some stimulant. Man, coffee is the best. Not really, not really. It's one of the worst things. But that was one thing that we were talking about here on True Story hashtag paranormal. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you look at the Dynamite cartoons or the little drawings that I have on here on this channel, like I have a stick of dynamite and then his best friend, a black powder bomb. Those I basically used to practice animating. So I wanted to have really simple shapes with simple arms and stuff that I could then just recreate. So my first cartoons are of them, and then I'm gonna just keep expanding on it because I'm one of those people that I like to I like to blow things out of proportion. So I'll take one little idea and just keep like paranormal investigation thing like that straight up. I was just doing that live stream because I wanted to rant. I just wanted to rant and talk and just try to be funny. But because I was working at a hostile work environment, I didn't know who might be spying in on my live streams. So I was doing this live paranormal investigations just so that if one of my shady coworkers were looking into it, you're wasting your time. But now it's spiraled to a whole thing where we're doing stand-up comedy at a bar. But I've been doing comedy for a while. But I use these jokes that I made on live streams and do them in person. And this is the last one I did. I was drawing people's suggestions in person. I didn't draw too many, but if for whatever reason you're in the area, my area, you want to check out my drawing live stream for real, look at my Instagram. I'm at O'Donovan's Bar next Wednesday. We're gonna live stream it again. It's gonna be I don't think I'm gonna be drawing this live stream though. But yeah, the tell me what to draw. If you want to experience it in person, it's 21 and up. Unfortunately, we are a stand-up comedian. Um, but it's my art's always been like, can I just make people happy? Can I just make some random person happy? So whether it's like a cartoon or some like digital art form or even with the live streams, that's why like this is one of my more like being real, no gimmick live stream. Sometimes I make up some dumb story, but usually this is the one where like if a subscriber wants to talk to me or actually like you know speak with me without any kind of me doing anything else, I do this live stream. But yeah, for the most part, be careful where you work for or who you work for, because especially if you're trying to grow as an artist, like what I was saying about the mental health earlier, if it drains you, it can impact your art severely. You could be the most talented artist in the world, but if you're tired from your day job, if you're drained beyond reason from your day job, like you never did it. Like okay, you had the talent, but you never put the paint to canvas. And that goes for friends too. Actually, I've been having this rant for a while. Be careful who your friends are. There's been when I was like, it was the years after high school when I first started painting. Um, I remember I was hanging out with my friends on a night that I would be painting, and I look up from, I think we were drinking that night, and so we were like, I think I was like 22 or 23, and we were drinking, and I look up and I see everyone is just on their phones, and I'm like, why am I hanging out with you? Like, what's the point? I could have been painting tonight, but instead we chose to hang out, and now I had to talk to you and be here with you, and you're not even doing anything. They're showing me memes. I remember that's where I found out about 4chan, and I found out about QAnon and all that shit because I was hanging out with friends who they're just on their phones the whole time. So literally, like, be careful where you work. Be careful who your friends are. Are they gonna hold back your career as an artist or as whatever the hell else you're doing? Um, And so I remember I remember that night I was like, okay, I didn't say anything. I wasn't a jerk about it or anything like that, but I was like, I'm going to be a little bit more selective on what nights I'm going to just hang out with people because I mean, the what you spend on the beer, what you spend on time, what you do I'm pale. Am I pale? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. This thing is blasting yellow light towards me just so that I'm not pale. Uh, me so pale. But the yeah, that was one thing where I I was just so taken back by just how I was like, what am I doing right now? What's the point of hanging out with you? Is I've wasted time. Um, that's one shit too. I think with stand up comedy, be careful who your friends are, right? I had one comic. I went to support this one guy. They were doing a show, and after the show, this comedian, Denny Cervantes, love that guy. He's an amazing comic. He comes up to me and he asks me if I want to host a show at one of his places that he does. And I was like, "Oh yeah, for sure. I'm totally down to do that." And my friend, supposedly my friend, he's standing next to me and he goes, "Oh no, what? He doesn't do stand up. What are you talking about? He doesn't do stand up comedy." And I'm like, "What the, like the guy that had come up to me to ask me to host had seen me do stand up comedy. He had liked my comedy. That's why he's asking me to host." And then my so-called friend over here starts chiming in out of nowhere, telling him, "Oh no, he doesn't do it. He doesn't do it." Now nothing came of it, right? Now we can say like, okay, maybe the guy that asked me was he got busy with other projects. But I never forgot that about what my friend did. He was somebody coming up to me with an opportunity, and my friend is like knocking bread out of my mouth basically. It's like, "Oh shit, dude, like you're not my friend." So that's one thing to be careful with, especially as an artist, is are you hanging out with people that are actively shooting you down? Because that guy was supposed to be a comedian. Like he shouldn't even be doing that, knocking, taking work away from somebody else like that. Especially exactly fake friend, hella fake friend. And he, as long as I have more subscribers than them, I ain't sour about it. But some people just don't want to see it succeed. That's so real in the stand-up comedy game. And thank you, and that actually brings me to my next rant. Um, so there is this thing in stand-up comedy where you have like these veteran comics that try to find new comics to basically take advantage of them in terms of can you work for free. So we're going to get you on a show, we're not going to pay you, we're going to make it seem like we're giving you exposure, but all the while like you're pretty much being siphoned for your time, and they make you bring your friends and family. So you invite your friends and family to whatever show they put you on. They pay a bunch of money to be there, and you're not going to get anything from it. So this is like classic example of this type of individual where and then the moment you do start making some type of income, they turn into a hater like just immediately. They try to paint you a bad way, they try to start saying shit about you and stuff like that. And you really just want to be careful with. I mean, we can always say be careful who your friends are, but most people are gonna hide it until it's too late. So literally until they start seeing you succeed. So like my friend, I had never seen him even switch like that with me. Like we've hung out so many times. He never like went, "Hey man, you don't do stand up comedy." But I'm just like, and I do, but he had never done that. Not until he saw somebody else trying to give me an opportunity that he started jumping in and being like, "No, no, 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 don't do that." And so I found out about some comics that I thought I really looked up to, like really looked up to, and it turns out that they were pretty much doing the same thing of they just knock down people like and I think some don't know that they're doing it. You don't understand. Like if you're a veteran comedian, if people respect you, every little thing you say is going to carry a lot of weight. Um, and there are some comics that I know that should know a lot better. Like you should know better. Like you're a grown ass man. Like you're a 50-year-old talking shit about 20-year-olds on a podcast. Like you should know better as a comedian. Um, and it's been like this really weird awakening of like, okay, I can see who's taking it seriously and I can see who's actually like you do it for some kind of weird ass clout, but you don't actually grow. And that one thing, dang, that is so sad. It is. Um, but what happens on Instagram with these comics, right, is they end up in this follow unfollow routine. So you have comedians that have maybe over 2,000 or maybe 3,000 followers, but they're following like 3,000 people. So everybody is taking this advice of, okay, follow random people on Instagram. Hopefully they follow you back and then you unfollow them. And that is about 90, pretty much like 95% of the comedians that I know are doing this. And I don't know if they know that you can get your entire account taken off if the right number of people start reporting you, you can get your whole account taken off if you're doing the unfollow or the follow unfollow technique. I've seen it happen. And you know the saddest part is this. Yeah, that is so dumb. This is where it hurts. If you're a new comic or where it happened to me as a new artist, it wasn't comedians doing that to me. It was other art pages doing that to me on Instagram. So for a while, when I was on Instagram, I thought like, "Oh, cool, I'm getting followers." No, they're all bots. They're all like these fake Instagram accounts, and you think you're growing, but it just ruins your algorithm, completely obliterates it, because you'll never get a real audience. Yeah, exactly. And so there, a lot of my comedians that I know, I don't really call a lot of them friends, but comedians that I know, they're in this bubble of bots, but they don't know it's bots. And I'm glad I do this rant on here because I love my subscribers. I love you guys. And if I can save you guys from this, by all means. But for them, like, you know what? They no, fuck you. You get me? So they have these accounts that are essentially either you're following other comedians, and comedians aren't necessarily fans. Like they're not gonna come out to every single one of your show and visit you and all of that. Like people who like Mr. Beast, it's not 90% other influencers. You get me? He has normal people. Sure, he gets a bunch of influencers trying to get famous off of him, but his audience is made up of normal people that aren't trying to be YouTubers. Versus on Instagram, a lot of the comedians that are trying to grow, they're trying to go viral, they're trying to do this, right? Not not trying to compare comedians to influencers, but you end up in this bubble of comedians that you've met in person or that you've never met. You're just doing the follow technique. Nobody's going to come to your show. Why would they? There it's just another comic. Like it's almost like for a comedian seeing another flyer, it's like seeing the schedule for another job. It's just seeing the schedule for the week. And that doesn't, like, if you work at McDonald's, right? And you see the schedule for the McDonald's down the street, does that matter to you? No. You already work at one McDonald's. This doesn't matter to you. So they share these AI generated flyers to this social media bubble that's made up of other stand-up comedians. It's not a real moving audience and stuff. And the sad part is when they do go viral, when they do get like a viral, clip or whatever, it is very minimal growth. And the reason why it's minimal growth is because it went viral to most likely a bunch of bots. And then whatever likes or whatever comments. On Instagram, the amount of fake accounts commenting is so ridiculous. Like compared to YouTube. And that was one thing I think, honestly, to you guys, stay away from Instagram altogether. Focus on YouTube, grow on YouTube. Honestly, the amount of it's inspirational to a degree. Good evening. How are you, Noctis the cat? We are talking about the current state of comedians on Instagram, but but for YouTube, you can actually find. I am doing pretty good. How are you? And you can find people that are from around the world that will actually like you. Have you ever considered Twitch? I did in the beginning. I still hear hello, cheese. Again, it's perfectly okay if you want to knock out and go to sleep, cheese. But yeah, I tried to stream on Twitch. I just didn't like it. I like YouTube for some reason more. Also, in terms of like flow of like videos. Like if I have a stream on here and I make clips of it, if somebody wants to see the full video, like if somebody sees a short and they want to see the full live stream, they can find it very easily on YouTube. So, oh, the new comedians on social media artists. Yes. So, like that's one thing that's just going on right now. So if you fail on YouTube, and one thing I've noticed, they fail their podcast on YouTube. Their podcast fails on whatever other medium, then they show up trying to do stand-up comedy. And they grow on Instagram by doing the follow unfollow technique. So you have like this legit wave of comedians that they're just failed influencers. Like you're just a failed YouTuber. Nobody listens to your podcast, so you show up to do stand-up comedy, and you're edgy. And that to me, that's how you know somebody is like you're not really trying to be a comedian. You're just trying to go viral. Look at the Rogan sphere. Yes, stand-up comedy is very tedious. Yes. So I don't like saying where I live, but let's just say that I grew up around the LA comedy scene. Like that was pretty much where. So I remember when Kill Tony was here at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles. And I remember my friend, actually, you know what? The friend that I was talking about earlier, to those that were on the stream earlier, that fake friend, I was talking shit. Um, but he would go and stand on the Kill Tony line for like 2 or 3 hours, hoping to be on that podcast. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen something called Roast Battle. If you're under 18, do not watch this YouTube channel. But the YouTube channel, it's called Roast Battle. It's on here. They're proud of it. Everybody that's on that was on Kill Tony when it used to be in Los Angeles. If you listen to the jokes there, and this is from like 10 years ago, it's the same edgy, shitty, fucked up shit that they say now, but from the political stage. Like I swear to God, you look at it's called Roast Battle. That's the YouTube channel, and they have really bad audio, really bad quality, but it's over there at the Comedy Store, and it was the same fucking like edgy, homophobic, all that fucking shit. There was one where these two comics that I have met, I would not call them friends, I would not even call them associates. One of them during Roast Battle starts talking about how one of their let's say loved ones was assaulted. I'm not going to get into more details, but they start making these jokes about, let's just say, a certain type of assault in front of people, and they're cheering about it. They're like I'm like, okay, this is the exact fucking shit that they're doing down in Austin. And this was 10 years ago. So, like, imagine how old all these jokes are. The no trans in bathrooms, the no, like, how old all of these material is, and they still keep doing it. So, I remember all of these comics that, and every now and then, I would see one that like I had met, and he would all of a sudden be on Kill Tony because he waited for 4 hours outside of the bar. Um, One thing that I got when I think I only went to the Comedy Store one, and I've been doing this for like almost 14 years now. I've been to the Comedy Store one time, and it was just to support a friend who was doing Roast Battle. I remember getting such a nasty vibe. You know what? Talking about paranormal, I remember getting a legit bad vibe out of all the places I've ever, and I've worked at hospitals. I visited a hospital that Ghost Adventures has investigated for paranormal. I didn't feel a damn thing. I went to the Comedy Store down in Los Angeles. Oh yeah, I fucking felt something. I remember I was in the restroom. I'm like, something's wrong here. Like it just feels wrong. And I remember being in the hallway. I'm like, something doesn't want me here. Like there's just nope. Like I shouldn't be here. Like it felt like the angels were trying to keep me away from the devil himself. I ain't Christian. I'm atheist as fuck, but that's the only way I could explain it. It straight up felt like there was a positive presence trying to keep me away from whatever the fuck was. And what I saw there during Roast Battle, not only was it just senselessly racist, like it wasn't even funny racist. Like, okay, this was just senselessly racist. Like you're just bagging on that guy because he's black, and that's the only joke you can think of. I remember being disgusted, and then the high-end comedians, the ones who are actually getting paid, they all talk shit about the comedian, again, just for being black. And neither one of the roast battlers got paid, but the people talking shit, oh, of course they get paid. So what did I see? I saw my friend work for free, get berated for being black, and then okay, wrap it up. Thank you for coming out to the Comedy Store. I was like, what the fuck? So that was like literally that was about almost like 8 years ago or so. Not in a hospital. I have experienced paranormal activity, but I live in a real city. Yes, we have. If you want to start typing up some of your paranormal stories, please, by all means. It is pretty fucked up. But you know, one thing about the Comedy Store is they do say it is haunted. They've tried to do seances to. There's a story about people trying to do a seance to talk to Andy Kaufman, and it's to me, it's a little bit. I mean, whatever. If you want to talk to him that way, by all means. But well, please let us know what you've experienced. Noctes the cat. What are your opinions on so with with Kill Tony? Um, I think the idea of it was good. The idea of giving somebody like just random people the opportunity, but when it turned into it's almost like the last stance for a lot of the political humor that was getting washed away. And by last stance, I mean like the last stand for it. And the the type of humor is punching down. So I would call it Xbox lobby humor. As in it's like this is the type of stuff where if somebody showed a vulnerability, you jump on it. So that's just the style of comedy. You can call it good comedy, you can call it bad comedy, but it's just the style. Like me, like I try to go cartoonish and stupid and weird and random and dumb. Um, and yeah, but to me, well, Kill Tony, if you think about it, what were the best moments when people bombed or when people did good? Like for me, I know I enjoyed it when people bombed. Um, but I also like I enjoyed it when people bombed who thought too much of themselves, right? So, but when people bombed and you could tell that they were actually trying, like it was messed up, and it's like seeing someone just eat shit. But to me, what you do outside of your shows matters a lot. So it's like you can do one good thing, or maybe you have one nice thing going, but if you go out and you do some bullshit, it ruins. I know you're a modern atheist. Thank you. With Tony, where I lost complete like respect is when he did the whole the rally for our current administration. To me, I was like, all right, dude, like you're playing at something else. You know what I mean? Like you went from all right, you're a comedian to now you're Goebbels. Like you're not you want to be part of the social media wave of that, you know, organization. Um am I agnostic or atheist? I don't know. To me I'm an artist. So, okay, let's say I'm about to get on a boat and travel into like the ocean. I am going to pray to Poseidon for care. Okay, if I'm gonna get on a plane, I'm gonna pray to Zeus. If let's say I'm about to use a certain medicinal herb to cure my depression, I'm gonna pray to Shiva. If I feel like becoming one with everything and all of that around me, I will remember the teachings of the Buddha. If I want to feel a sense of creation and wonder in everything around me, I will pray to Coyote. If I if I if I want to know the origins of all things, I will look up Eskimo mythology. I love Eskimo mythology. Okay, let's see here. The cheese. When I was able to hang out with one of my friends who lives with their stepdad and mom, then I would go over there and I would have like a weird feeling. Oh, Jesus Christ. I summoned a Mexican saint and changed me completely. Oh, that's cool. Ah, oh, oh. What the hell did I just do? Oh my god! Right as I read that, was it the Virgin of Guadalupe? Um, but good for you, Noctis the cat. Um, there should be some stuff who stay in their lane. Some good shit just gets political. Yeah, exactly. Um, and to me, it goes back to that whole idea of punching down. Like, I mean, are you trying to make people laugh, or are you trying to change their minds and all this stuff? But the way the Kill Tony group goes about it, it's like you're just trying to piss off people you hate at the end of the day. Like you're not trying to be funny. You're just trying to get under people's skins because it's funny. Like that's a different audience. It's a different style altogether. And again, I think the problem is people get wrapped up on saying if it's good or bad or not. It's my argument with con art. Okay, I love con art. I look into con art all the time. Who are some of the best con artists? Bernie Madoff, Bernie Madoff, Donald Trump. Okay, these are some of the best con artists. Okay, it's still an art form, but it's not. It doesn't benefit anyone. It just kind of ruins people's lives half the time. But it's still an art form. When you lie to someone to a degree, when you scam someone to a degree that it's an art form, even the justice system calls it con artist. And so to me, like one thing I've always said on this channel, I'm like, chaotic industries, we investigate everything because I do believe everything is an art form. To a degree, everything can be an art form. So one thing I've always looked into, just me personally, is bad art. So look up artists that you don't like, right? So that includes bad comedians. That also includes bad actors. People who lie, people who cheat others. Um, and to me, it's like as a comedian, I'm always trying to find a way to manipulate people, but I'm only trying to manipulate you to make you laugh. That's the end game. Once I get my laugh, I'm on my way. Um, where I used to work, where I've been ranting a few moments now, I saw that because I'm good at manipulating people, I was good at teaching people. Like I can trick students into learning. And they used to say that they would put that into their reviews sometimes or their surveys. They would say, we like him, we like his teaching style. Because you don't know if you don't feel like you're learning, you just learn it. Like you got tricked into it. And to me, that's just a stand-up comedy technique of how to present information. It's just a way to speak and all of that. But anyways, that comes from studying some of the best manipulators. um, and to me, I think that the real how do I put it, the worth of a person is when you know all this stuff and you show restraint. You get me? Like I know I could be a great scammer, but I choose not. um, so there should be stuff. Yes, I'm atheist. Also, good for you. Spiritually too. Yeah, I'm very spiritual. In terms of that, I think that's why I was doing the whole rant about the paranormal investigations because in the event that either I talk to someone who's experienced something or maybe I capture something on I will show this respect towards it. Even though scientifically speaking, I'll be like, you guys should probably check your pipes or maybe get an exterminator or some shit. But but I'll always be respectful to somebody that tells me, hey, I saw a ghost or I have a feeling or something. Religion should be really personal stuff. I think why people care about others' opinions so much. Just do what you want to do. Yeah, I think because what happens is, depending on what religion you're part of, your God is going to destroy the planet based on the actions of the people around you. So that's always been my. We've always said this: Christianity is being investigated for a hostile work environment. Okay, if Elon Musk got a bunch of shit for what Grok was doing, all that racist bullshit Grok was spewing out the other day, your God, Jesus, or whatever, should get shit or they should get sued for what Satan has done. If your Satan is real and your God created Satan, he is now liable for every action, every crime, everything he's ever committed. It's on you. And if your God can't pay for it, then I guess we're going to have to tax churches. We're going to have to tax you for damages. Every broken window, every bottle of spilt milk, every time gravity doesn't affect you, that's damages, baby. Who made gravity? Your God. Who did everything? That's you. A plane crashes? That's on God. Every crime is now on you. That to me is fair. Okay. You pay 20% on every donation you do, and it helps pay for roads. It helps pay for acts of God's. Okay. You give $20 to the church, it's going to be more like $22. Okay. Because we're going to need $2 for fixing for damages of all the shit that you've done. That's my spiritual. um, so we are very off topic. Um, I was an atheist until my own experience changed me. Oh, was it with the your Newton? That's funny. Um, yeah, I don't like talking about how I stopped being atheist. But let's just say that when you have like a very artistic awakening, Um, to me, I think the imagination, our imagination, is pretty much the same thing they had all those years ago. So there should be nothing stopping you from experiencing whatever God they experienced. So whether it's the Book of John or the Tibetan Book of the Dead, they were high. Okay, they were hopped up on it, man. Okay, so it's not. It's more of a question of sobriety than anything. Um, but I had a more spiritual. Yes, I call it the same thing. At least to me. To me, spirituality and artistry is the same thing. A lot of our concepts just come from cave paintings. It was like also synonymous to your experience. Yes. Um, I think one of like the nicest things that I like to watch or look into are the cave art or cave paintings. It was like somebody that who knows what kind of day they had, and they just got back to their cave. They're like, I really got to paint that water buffalo. Like I know it's like 10 feet in the air, and I might fall from that ledge, but I really got to put that water buffalo up there with those stick figures throwing spears at it. Um, to me, consciousness is God. Yes, I like that. uh, yeah, I think to me, I've always thought like God is both creation and destruction, just in the act of it. So it's not there's no good or bad. It's just is there creation or is it destruction? You get me? It's not like what's going on inside of a black hole. You get me? Or what happened there? Is there something new going on in there? So it's like it's destroying on the outside, but inside of the black hole, is it something new? Is it destroying while creating or creating while destroying? If I stop commenting, then I am more than likely asleep. Oh, for sure, cheese. Well, we thank you for for sticking around though. Means a lot. I was gonna go play poker tonight, but I thought, you know what? I want to live stream to the good people, to my beautiful subscribers. I love you all so much. They think our universe is inside of a black hole. I know that's terrifying, isn't it? I mean, what changes, right? Does it matter if it is in a black hole? I mean, as long as it doesn't run out, I guess. I don't know. The whole sun blowing up always concerns me because apparently that can happen at just any moment. Uh, but I don't know. We really should get off of this planet. We should, you know, we should be elsewhere. I mean, imagine if people just had their own planet. Would you still be mad? Right? Where would your holy city be there? Right? If you're on Mars, are you gonna still have a holy city? They're gonna be fighting over the face of Mars. Like, no, we saw this on the Hubble telescope 25 years ago. We were the first ones to see this. Now the face of Mars is ours. Okay, you can't come near it. No. And then they're gonna be killing each other over it. It's like, oh no, who gets to live on the left eye of the face of Mars? No, not you. You don't believe in the same stuff we do. You have to live on the cheek. You have to live around here, okay? And it's like, Jesus Christ, man. Like to me, we turned the whole thing into a parking lot. Everything, the temple, everything, parking lot with nice wide lines. None of this compact shit. Free parking, by the way. You want to visit Jerusalem? Well, there's a lot of parking now. A lot of parking. You wanna go to the other side? There's parking there too, everywhere. I'm not picking a side. I'm on the side of parking. I'm on the side of pavement. I'm on the side of making it flat. It's nice and flat. No, no, like to me, it's like when you take the toys away because the kids can't play. That's what it is. So like I think they marked the foots of Jesus down there. They marked like the rock that rolled over. That's a parking lot now too. Okay, parking lot, all of it, parking lot. No, 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 no. Stop crying. Stop crying. Parking lot. You had your chance. He had his chance to come back, and he still didn't. Okay, they still didn't. At least Christians were able to make up one. Okay, Christians were able to make up a Messiah. Right. Then there's the two other ones that are still waiting. They're still waiting for their own. Like, come on, man. Come on. Is not right in front of you? Like the answer is right in front of you. Um, free parking. One random asteroid is all it takes. Um, Knowing humans, the police will ticket you. Yes, right. Um, but Yeah, we need to take paradise and we need to turn it into parking lot. That's what we need. When Thursday I was at church and we had an activity because it was more class than actual church. And one of my friends suddenly had a cold feeling, I'm pretty sure. Oh God, damn it. I mean that could have been your IC. Or your AC. Now that I think about it, I was raised Jehovah's Witness. It was always very cold in there. You always got a very cold chill. But that's because they had one hell of a AC system, though. If it's a hot day, go to a Jehovah's Witness congregation. just just sit there for the AC. Oh man, no AC on. Well, you know what? That brings me up to my next point that I've said several times. If you don't have an AC, would you benefit from haunting your own house, right? Like, let's say it's a hot summer. You pop open a Ouija board, okay? You don't close the Ouija board. You burn the Ouija board, okay? now, now you're gonna have cold chills for the whole summer. Okay, tell me that this wouldn't work. Tell me this wouldn't work. I was raised Catholic. Later back, what? What a switch! What a switch! What is the difference? I think so Catholics will baptize at birth, and then the Baptists do it later, right? That was a whole thing, man. Dude, they were like killing each other for that. I swear to God, they were hunting each other down over when should you dunk a baby in water. And they were like, no, it's a choice. You have to wait until later. And they're like, no, what if they die? Then they're going to hell. It's like, well, your God's a piece of shit if he lets babies go to hell because their heads weren't dunked in water. Like, you're not that good of a God. If that's the like, imagine like you, okay, God forbid, right? Something happens to a small child, but he shows up to heaven and go, wait, his head is dry. No, no, you're going to purgatory, son. Yeah, you're gonna live down there with Virgil. Um, AI will make a new religion. Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. I think it kind of already is. Because the thing with religion, the promise that it has now is it's a solution for your mental health. Are you feeling sad? Are you having a bad life? Pray to my God. Just pray to my God. It makes it all go away. So what's AI doing? Right? AI is saying, "Well, type up your issues, type up your problems, and I am going to solve them for you." That's what Jesus. I went from left to right. You're going to hell, son. Thank you so much. I was a kid. Thank you so much, Samurai. How are you? Um, but it's true though. If we can, they're hustling. I've said this one before. It's a PR game. All right, one religion has their PR, the other one has their PR. They say, okay, well, our devil acts like this. He influences you like this. The other side comes around and they say, hey, that side's the devil. That side. So I replaced it with spirituality. Mark go, pack go. We're gonna give you one more chance to be funny. We're gonna give you one more chance. You're going to get disconnected. I know how. I replaced it with spirituality. That's good. Um, I think my biggest grief with the whole Catholic thing is what they did to the cultists or the Celtics, where they came around and started saying a bunch of shit. Where like, oh, do you believe in a horned god? Oh, well, that's the devil. Or do you believe in something that doesn't look like our God? Oh, well, that's the devil. And that's where you got the pagans, and they just started shoving off everyone. Okay, now you're a pagan. We're not even going to say your real name anymore. We're just going to call you pagan, and you're one with the devil. And that's a PR game, public relations. Okay, we don't want you to be buying from their company anymore. We don't want you going to Freya or Odin. We want you going to our guy, okay, because our guy does it. Thank you so much, Cheese. Appreciate you. Keep going, buddy. Thank you so much, Samurai. My Baptist voice. The damn demons. That's true, dude. I swear, as a kid, I was terrified of that, man. Because they were always telling you that Satan or the devil can come through your window, can come through your screen, can come through your TV, go through the radio. And I remember one time I was watching Ghost Adventures, and my dad was like, "Oh, take this off, take this off. You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know what can come out of you watching this." And I said, "Okay, how is he gonna come through? And what's gonna come through? What is he made of?" He's like, "What are you talking about?" I go, "It's Satan. You're saying because I'm watching Ghost Adventures, Satan is gonna come out of the TV. How? Gonna crawl out like the girl from the Grunge?" And that's the thing with faithful people with faith. The moment you actually get them on a technicality, your God's not real. It's not a physical thing. Okay. And then all of a sudden, oh no, but it's the Holy Spirit. It's made up of something completely different. Okay, is it atoms, electrons, neutrons? We can get smaller, buddy. We can keep going. No, it's not. It doesn't say that. For all the shit the Bible says, it doesn't say a damn thing about what it's actually made of. Remember those weirdos with rattlesnakes? Yes. I don't even know differences between Catholics and Protestants, but I read books. It was fought a lot. Yeah. They are in a 24-hour timeout. Thank you so much. Yeah. If they, I mean, you're all good, cheese. I don't really care. If they chime in and if it's not funny, I don't care. But it's to me, I was always terrified that I was gonna watch the wrong thing, like Harry Potter. That was bad. You're gonna die if you watch Harry Potter. So, Harry Potter was bad. MTV was one of the worst things you could ever watch. But as I got older, and I would just watch Ghost Adventures and stuff. I remember my dad would just give me this shit for it, and I would just think, I'm like, so what is he doing? What is Satan doing? He's just waiting around, watching the ratings, and he's like, oh my God, I got this house in suburbia, and I'm gonna head in through their Samsung TV, and then now what? You're gonna make shit fly off the walls? You don't have anything better to do. And so the the shit. Well, I remember one thing Jehovah's Witnesses used to say is that Satan, the devil, works in cahoots with the Catholic Church to make like a paranormal situation, right? Like make what's it, possess somebody, right? So when they possess them, and then the Catholic priest comes around to get rid of the demon, it's almost like a hustle, right? It's like they do the Texas switch on them, basically. So the priest comes, they get the demon out, the Satan goes, okay, all right, now they're gonna believe in the Catholic Church now, and that's how Jehovah's Witnesses would explain the exorcisms for Catholics. They're saying, oh well, the demons are working in cahoots with the exorcist, which is terrifying, right? Like, I mean, imagine. Sorry, I'm not. They disgrace each other. Yes, starting wars too. Yes. Look at Martin Luther. Um, I don't know. I don't think it's Martin Luther King. I think it's just Martin Luther. Um, they the Damon. Yeah, I saw some of his thesis stuff. Um, but I mean, the whole Martin Luther thing, the Protestant stuff, where it's like you got halfway there, buddy. You realize that it was bullshit, but then you're like, no, it still has to be real. And then you go around nailing shit to doors when it's like, dude, you were like halfway there. You realize that all of this is bullshit, but you had to. You can't let it go because it's a drug. Okay, love is a drug, and the love that you believe something has for you is one of the biggest buzzes, one of the biggest like holy shit, you're drunk as hell types of highs you can get. Imagine that you close your eyes, you talk to an imaginary character, and he makes you feel beyond good. That's a drug. um, I am buzzed. I have a dream. I have a dream as well. Do you know Alien Files are going to be what? Oh God, I saw. He's like trying to distract everything from everyone from that one thing he did, or those few things he did. I love y'all. We are bro. Thank you so much, Noctus the cat. This is our paranormal. No, this is true story live stream. Normally we have a drawing live stream, but yeah. I saw that. It's funny because they keep talking to him in that hallway of Air Force One, where like right before they close the door, they always have to ask him the random shit. It's like, hey, were you best friends with Epstein? And he's like, no, we have alien files now. Okay, this is the hot thing now. Okay, you thought you thought that other stuff was interesting. No. Think about it like this. Don't you want to find out those stories of those Air Force guys that were sleep deprived and they started seeing shit in the air while they were flying? You don't want to see that? That's not what you want to know? This is what I think. I think drones, like the basic ass drones that we're seeing now, like the hobbyist drones, I think that shit's a lot older than we think it is. It might be like way like old, as in all of these flashy lights, people seeing patterns in the air, stuff following them. That could have been like just your basic ass drone, but in like 1990, 1980s, right? But if they're going to keep that shit a secret for sure. And like, so imagine how long they've had these drones going around. and not just our country, but it's almost like a giant hustle, right? Like if they admit that other countries have these high end drones that can look like UFOs and shit, um, they're gonna have to admit that they have high end drones that look like shit. They were around since the '60s, yeah, right. Uh, I love alien talk. I think it's it's one of my favorites, but it's also terrifying because you're just you're always up against something that's most likely bigger and hungrier than you. The rabbit hole is there. Yup. Um, what did I do with? Yeah, I think with yeah, that's just Roswell. Um, then you have all that like the hippie movement and stuff, but that's also where they were doing the '60s. They were doing the what's that thing called, the astral projection, where they were getting people a bunch of substances so that they can then leave their bodies and spy on the enemy. But yeah, okay. Let me take a small, short second break here. We'll be right back. Hold on, hold up. All right, for sure, for sure. Um, all right, I will catch you, Raj. Thank you for stopping by. Sea of Chaotic Industries and Nights. And then if you, yeah, if you wanna, I'll try to do these types of live streams a lot more regularly. But yeah, I've got the rest of my channel on there, and then we are gonna be live streaming for sure on Wednesday. Giving you a heads up, it is stand up comedy, so viewer discretion advised, and there might be explicit language. For the most part, I tend to be good, and then other people come on and then they start saying shit. But thank you so much, Raj, for sticking around and coming back. Um, but yeah, this is my talking shit live stream. This is the one where I try not to do any acts or any fake routines. Um, but we yeah, if you have other paranormal stories, by all means, you can always share that. But I think that that's one thing where I why I wanted to start making fun of them was just a lot of bullshit going on in the world right now, and it comes from religion, and religion likes to validate itself with paranormal investigations because that's how do you know your God works, right? We're like, okay, there has to be something evil in your room. And then once you start contacting your God and your God gets rid of the evil in your room, oh, okay, that God must be real. This goes back to that. It's a PR game, public relations. Okay? One second. We're technically cooking something off into the distance, but this is true story. Hashtag paranormal. Let us know what your paranormal story is, or whatever else is ailing you. Energies are something you must assess. Oh, for sure, especially with people. Like once you, I to me, like when it comes to people, I'll much rather listen, or I will listen to a bad vibe from a person than from a place. Like I know I get that shit a lot, but I think and one thing I think with comedians is they can seem very trusting because they're open or they're funny. Um, but you'll be surprised what massive pieces of shit some of them can be. Um, I think to me that we were talking about that earlier with Kill Tony, but it's like you get this energy from people of like you just want to hurt people. Like you're not trying to make people laugh. Like you're just looking to hurt others. Like maybe because you had a bad past or bad upbringing and all of that, but you're a bully. Like there's no two ways around it. Then there's like the feelings. I think to me of like, okay, this guy like stay away from this guy because of your life kind of thing. And that just comes from like going out in public in general. But to me, as like from what I'm doing, because I set up shows and stuff, like I'm walking with my gear and speakers and all of that, And especially where I go, like sometimes you get a vibe from people because you get like, oh shit, now this motherfucker's casing me. He's checking me out to see what he can come up on. Yeah, because I get the sense you pick up on. Uh, but I think there's been a few times where I can say, is this the end? Not really. I'm trying to just keep going as long as people want to, if you got paranormal stories to say, or if you want me to start saying some random shit, I'm always okay with that. But yeah, I think when it comes to like paranormally evil, I can't really say I've ever felt that too much from someone. But I do get the vibe of like if you hang out with this person, you're gonna end up in like trouble, like some kind of stupid ass shit. Um, I think of it as a gift. I have a gift of leaving the scene before shit gets bad and people get hurt. You can sense people trying to give you bad vibes. Yeah, exactly. Is this the end of the stream? Not yet. Cheese. We're gonna keep going for a little bit more. Um, but it it's definitely, we're talking about vibes now, right? What do people give you bad vibes? Have you ever gotten a paranormal vibe from somebody? Like is it like what if they're a warlock or a witch, right? Like do they walk around with a cloud around them? Um ah, I was hanging out with a witch one. I met her on Tinder, and we were hanging out. And I never got a bad vibe from her in that respect. I did get a vibe though of like um cleanliness. You get me? Like you should like hygiene kind of thing. like like maybe should have been but she was a witch, or I don't know if she's still a witch, but she had like a bunch of trinkets and stuff, and she had like tarot cards, and she had sand and what was that thing, like crystals, and would tell me like she would do rituals and stuff. She was like 4 years older than me, but I like 30 and above. But anyways, um, she she had like this vibe of like, no, I don't think that corner over there is clean. Like, I don't know if when was the last time this place was vacuumed. So it wasn't paranormal. It was very much hygiene related. It kind of had like this vibe of Motel Six. I think Motel Sixes are cleaner than. Anyways, I will say this: I deal with the occult, but I cognizant of what it can attract. Oh, for sure. Let me see here. Yeah, I felt that I've gotten the worst vibes from Christians than I have from whoever is dealing with the occult. Like I feel like the moment I see a bunch of like crystals and shit around someone's neck, I'm like, all right, I can vibe with this person. But if I see like a little golden cross, or you get, I mean, yeah, okay, we gotta watch out for that. You don't know what they're involved with. Okay, you don't know what kind of evil they're. But if I see like a little star, like an upside down star and like a horn thing, all right, that's I can jive with you. All right, I get you. But oh man, the other one where they have like the bracelets and shit, where they're like, oh no, this is my saint and it protects me from alcoholism. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Jesus. And so the that shit's surreal. Hello, Stephanie. How are you? We are talking about bad vibes. Do people give you bad vibes? Have you walked into an area and gotten a very bad vibe? This is true story, hashtag paranormal. Type out your story. Share with us. Give me 1 second. I will be right back. All right. Sorry about that. Let's see here. Said hi. I have a saint I adhere to, and don't do that. Don't do. What did I do? I forgot what I did. Here. What is Oh, I don't think you wanted to share more. Everyone has personal experience if you dwell towards it. Yes, of course. Um, I mean, I think to me, waking up from Jehovah's Witnesses was a little traumatic in its own way because you're letting go of an old friend in a way, but I knew it was the truth. Like to me, oh no, I was just asking like which saint, or who is it that influences you? Um, but because I know for me, like I was raised to believe that it should only be Jehovah, so the big guy, the one all the way up there. Um, and once I started learning more and recognizing, like, oh, this is a comic book, like this is a spin-off, like you guys ripped off other comic books, you made your own comic book with it, and then you've been influencing other people with your literally a comic book. Because it's so what is a comic book, right? It's scenes and dialogue, and that's all the Bible is. It's just you make a bunch of scenes, then you make lessons off of it. So they took all these scenes that are like just normal typical scenes and all the other comic books around that time, and I'm talking about the Bible. Okay, so every other story or myth had these same little archetypes, the same memes, the same lessons, and then they came around, they jacked all of everybody else's material, literally like made up their own system of copyrighted, said in like, okay, this is ours, all right, this is the Bible now, this is the truth, this is the way. When you ripped it off, you're a hack. I'm sorry. I'll be honest. I was like, oh, oh, that's so cool. No, Noctis cat. Let's let them wear it. Major respect to you for that. And I ain't being sarcastic. Major respect. I've hit homegirl up too before. I think Santa Muerte is probably the most accurate portrayal of whatever goddess inhabited that area in the past. I think what the Spanish did to that whole region is blasphemy in its own way. For them to bring in Jesus and commit blasphemy to all the old gods that were in Mexico, like that's the real blasphemy. And so Santa Muerte is like this marriage of it. And so I well, who's the other one too? Malverde, or who's the patron saint of thieves? But I want to explain my cross. So one of so I go like this a lot. I do the cross. But to me, what I say in my heart or in my mind, I say, in the name of the rabbit, the cat, Alice, and the queen. And that's because Alice in the Wonderland is literally the biggest influence, literature wise, spiritually, anything. Like any piece of book, any Bible verse, any spiritual book I've ever read didn't compare to Alice in the Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. Those books to me literally changed my life. So yes, Jesus Malverde, I did too, brother. Oh, nice. Well, nice to meet you, not just the cat. But I remember I was reading Alice in the Wonderland and I cracked open Revelation, and I just wanted to look at the same ideas in terms of how are they presenting information, right? So Alice Alice just gives you what's going on. And then maybe you get an idea of what she's thinking about. But it's always nonsense. And that's what I love about Alice in the Wonderland. It is the true definition of nonsense. There's no sense to it. So whatever's going on in Alice in the Wonderland, it only pertains to Alice. All right, so let's go to Revelation. Revelation comes from the fever dream, if not a drug induced coma, from the what's his name, John or whatever. So this guy, so it's claimed he's out doing horrible things to the people that he's hunting down, and he has these images, he has these visions in a dream, and he starts writing them down. How is the information presented? Okay. Well, John wakes up in a dream or some shit, or he gets zapped up into heaven, and then somebody starts spewing shit like, "Oh, well, now these scrolls are coming out of a thing, and now the scrolls are opening, and then people are playing trumpets." I'm like, okay, isn't that the same as Alice landing on a beach and you have a porpoise? And what does the porpoise teach us? That if you're a tiny little clam and you get misled and you get taken away by the porpoise is going to eat you. So you better stay away from the porpoise. You better keep moving because we all got a porpoise. Okay? That's why you keep moving forward. You run away from the porpoise. Oh, what does the Bible teach us? Okay, well, he's gonna he's so okay, so now he's standing in front of these eagles with multiple heads, and they're flying around, and they're saying, okay, well, the wicked is gonna like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? It's Alice in the Wonderland, BC. Is it this and what's going on today where people are literally dying because of it? Nah, fuck you. You get me? Sorry. My last name is Luna. Oh, nice to meet you. I just opened the Bible randomly and opened those pages. The moon turning blood and scrolls rolling into the skies. Yeah, exactly. It's the same as um what is the Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Oh man, I love it. Tweedledee and Tweedledum made me cry. I, I don't want to start crying now, but it is a true meaning of nonsense. Think of it like this. I was raised on Jehovah's Witness, right? So I was raised to believe that whatever is going on in Revelation is true. It has to be true. But then I read the words of Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and I don't remember them. It's fucking nonsense. It's stupid. But it's the same diction, it's the same feeling, the same vibe as when it says that the bowls will pour down the wrath of God and that the smoke will rise from the craters in the earth, and the smoke will cloud the sun, and it'll be full of little tiny men with scorpion tails. Straight up fucking says that. And I'm like, dude, you're tripping. You were tripping. Like and then you're gonna base your whole life on it. That guy was on drugs. He was tripping. He had a now Alice. She just had a very overactive imagination. Okay, um, the general idea of water on fire, smoke, for sure, for sure. Hello, Incognito. How are you? Is it pro or anti-religion, or what you mean exactly? Right, Incognito. Right. We are pro Alice in the Wonderland. That's what we're. And then through the Looking Glass, if you have do the audiobook, okay. We're not promoting the book of Revelation. We're promoting Through the Looking Glass. Through the Looking Glass is a lot more interesting than Alice in the Wonderland. And then the movie, the Disney movie, kind of merges both of them together. So it's nice to get both stories. And then you realize, like, oh, okay, this fool, Alice, uh, you face off your super ego and your ego. And her whole trip, her whole journey is her realizing that sometimes she can be a little mean to herself. And maybe you should be nicer to others. That's the that's the moral of Alice in the Wonderland. That's the greatest thing ever. Was actually by a guy who seemed very yeah, fuck that guy. By all means, fuck that guy. So look at the governments of the Middle East, yes, for sure. So yeah, that's one thing too. I think I was saying this earlier. It's like it doesn't matter what kind of art you put out there, what you do will either taint it or it ruins you as an artist. So you have a responsibility as a person to your own art for the shit you do when you're not making art. They're playing the end of days. Yeah, exactly. They're playing the end. I am DJ and producer. Well, hello, Incognito. Nice to meet you. What kind of music do you produce? Is it the house music? But yeah, they're well, I think one part of all of this is they have like a massive stockpile of shit that they've been just holding on to, and they got to shoot it at somebody. So I mean, I'm sorry that about what's happening. I don't like joking about people dying, but hard techno, nice. That's one of my secret loves. I don't listen to that as much, but every time I do, I enjoy it. And a good decent techno song. Is this your channel? You got your stuff on here? Because I'll check you out later. I was able to produce hardstyle. What? I wa- I used to make songs when I was younger. I forgot the program I used to play on. On Fruity Loops. What? You guys are music producers? I have a story about. Sure, but Instagram I use more than here. How do you like Instagram? If you had to choose, like let's say you could only focus on one or the other to grow, would you want to Instagram or YouTube? Because I was doing this rant earlier on how but I'm coming from the stand-up comedy world and the art world. Um I messed up my algorithm when it comes to Instagram because I started it as, painting, but then I was networking with other comedians in person. So then the people following me are all comedians. Um, but I use Facebook and YouTube. um, but well, it's we're trying to like find out if it, at least for me, if it's really worth any time to take Instagram seriously, because you either just end up in this bubble of bots following you, or like just people that you've met in person, and that's only going to be a handful at a time, right? uh, and I like when I'm on stage, when I'm doing stand-up comedy, I plug my YouTube channel, I don't plug my Instagram. But I was producing hardstyle and hardcore music, then trap. I'm going to say Insta because it's most prevalent, seemingly DJ wise, but honestly, it's all shite. But I refuse to pay for followers and that crap. Yeah, for sure. Um, but I think what with Instagram, what happens and what I was talking about earlier was the follow unfollow technique. And there was a scummy YouTuber on here that he's like posting videos on the whole follow unfollow technique, and it's so messed up because there's always some enthusiastic new artist that will believe they just got a real follower, but it's just some a-hole trying to grow their thing. But what ends up happening there though, one is you can get your whole thing taken down if the wrong person or the somebody piss piss off somebody and they end up reporting you or whatever. But the other one is just your content in general isn't going to get pushed the way you think it is. So a lot of people end up ruining their own exposure, their own social media. And I have a bunch of stand-up comedy friends that like it's just it's weird how over the years I usually remove 20 to 30 fake accounts from my Instagram that will follow me throughout the year. So about every year, I will gain 40 to 50 or like 30 to 40, sometimes even 50 of fake followers. So I start to remove them, right? So my Instagram that I've used just for my art is really small. The one that I have connected to this channel, that's a new one altogether. And I just have it for the sole purpose of just having an extra thing for this channel in case somebody needs to communicate, or I want to post paintings on there, like just regular pictures and stuff. Um, but that aggravates me. Don't do it. It's childish. Just like being a pest merchant's like, yes. Oh, sorry, God dang it. Lovely. What happened? You gave up. I focused on life and working, also fostering homeless. Oh, good for you. Thank you so much, Noctis Cats. Thank you for your service. Live comedy. Love the great sense of humor. Thank you so much. Amazing. I respect you for this. I love animals and make cloud. Has a focus to help EBT breed. That's pretty nice. Um, but yeah, what I was saying is, what I've noticed when I go through some of my colleagues when it comes to sorry to to stand up comedy, you notice a good amount of fake profiles or faceless profiles and stuff like that, like just clearly bots. And they don't do it on purpose because you can tell when it's bots that they paid for it because they'll have like the 10K or an absurd amount of followers. But when it's just your normal Instagram user that's trying to grow, they're doing the follow and follow technique, but they're also gaining all of these fake followers that they're not going to do anything about. So on Instagram, it's almost like you have to actively remove followers, otherwise it tanks your algorithm. And on YouTube, one thing that I respect about YouTube is that it will remove fake subscribers and bot subscribers. So to me, when I look at my subscribers on YouTube, I'm like, holy shit, yes, there's over 1,000 people that have said yes to this channel. And I love you all so very much. But I see it as 1,000 people versus on Instagram, you don't know who the hell is on there. Like maybe okay, you can see their names and stuff, but it's dude, there's farms and stuff. I think YouTube just as a brand to protect itself takes it so seriously versus Instagram doesn't care. I mean it's not gonna it's gonna pay you shit anyways. So it just doesn't straight up doesn't care what you have going for it or how big it is. So I have and this is how I know that my comic friends have messed up because how can you have 2,000 or 3,000 people but not a single one of them goes over to your YouTube channel and subscribes. Not a single one of them actually comments on your videos. Not a single. So it gets a little obvious after a while. And to me, I started going through their stuff when I started doing my, this because I wanted to see, okay, how am I doing anything right or what have I been doing wrong? And when I started going through their followers and stuff, I was like, oh shit, a lot of some of them friends, some of them just comedians that I know and I've ran into, unless you're aware of it and you're actively doing it, you have a massive fake following that you just didn't know. Like it's sorry, let's read some of these comments. I don't want to ignore you guys. I mean the dopes follow and unfollow you is ridiculous. Yeah. Um find homes for homeless babies. Beautiful. If you notice any new sudden mega hit of followers on an artist, either not well or huge from nowhere, you'll be sure to see actually the grand yes, the possum I love my fur babies. Oh, that's so cool. To me it's the comment section that gives it away. uh like it's on the videos that have like gone off for me, like it, yeah, it makes sense. There's a bunch of likes and then there's comments and it just that should always coincide. What will give it away is I think on Instagram you can fake the views and you can fake the likes, but the comments expensive. So I get the hindrance. I might have cut off for a second, but we're back. I get the hindrance marketing message of fake promo or whatever accounts. Yeah. And right now with the whole AI thing, and I was doing this rant earlier, but now you have even more like fake accounts generating fake ads, and then you're up against other comedians that are using AI, and it just makes everyone look fake now. So right, like earlier today, I posted a video, and it's on here. It's called "Paul Ruined My French Fry Review." Okay, if you go on this, last time I checked, it had like 1,200 views, and I think like 10 or 12 likes. Okay, I'm only have 1,000 subscribers, so that's generally how many views I get for shorts. If you go over my Instagram, I only have, I think that the same video, I think it got more likes, but I know the people who liked it because I can see the notifications and I've met all of them. Um, but so it's the little comedy community that I have that we all know each other. They enjoyed it. But view wise, I think it's like 150 views. So to me, I'm like, okay, a YouTube video, a YouTube short with over 10 likes or 12 likes has almost 1,000 views, but an Instagram reel that has more likes by people that do follow me has less views because it's like it doesn't to to Instagram. It's like, well, did you pay for it? How many bots are actually watching it? Um, I recently started doing viral videos and you come across hurdles as if I'm responding to a bot. Yeah, I'm useless on technology. TBH, I am worked for work. I put in LOL, it's hard. I get you. Um yeah, with I think the other thing I think with Instagram that goes on is some advice that says to use a viral video and then cut it with your own. worked hard. Yeah, we got you. To me, it's what I like about YouTube is how self-regulating it can be. Where if you cross a line and you just straight up start ripping people off, you can expect a 20 to 30-minute video essay on you from some other YouTuber that's gonna now get monetized off of you for you ripping people off. Versus on Instagram, it's almost like expected for you to rip somebody off. And to me, I think as a comic, I hold myself to this standard. I understand other people, like if you're in a different realm altogether, you're different like niche, and it's accepted, then by all means. But as a comedian, you should be using your own material. Like that's just like a thing. Unless you have given permission and you're collaborating with somebody, but it just your colleagues and then the audience members, which I think nowadays typical comedy fans are almost like comedy aficionados, where they just kind of enjoy the craft altogether, so they know the rules. So when people come around, you have like these fake accounts and you got these fake videos with the AI and stuff. You're not gonna grow, and it makes everybody else look bad. Um, I can't adult to be honest right now. My brain skills are just not the same. Yeah, that happens. No, I totally feel you. And then the delay. At least my chat isn't too wild so that like the conversation doesn't turn into something completely different by the time you get your message out. But I remember joining YouTube 2009. It has changed my mind. Yes. Um, it's weird. Multitasking is in me. Uh, yeah, I didn't. I was getting peanut butter because it's. Is that gonna help? Sorry, I don't know how to drink water. Um, Peanut butter always obliterates my stomach, and I crave peanut butter. I wish I could have peanut butter right now. We do have peanut, but I don't. I can't eat it. The moment it hits my stomach, it oh man, it just does something bad, really bad. And if it's chunky, and I love the chunky peanut butter, it feels like I ate a mace, like a medieval mace, spiking it. Technology wise, I'll probably clear up. Yes, I produce and can play all real, no assistance. Oh, real cool. By this fake night play. Or oh man, you guys want to hear a story about fake art? Okay, I'm not gonna say their name, and I can't even repeat their name, but they're on YouTube. Okay, um, there's like a whole world of AI techno girl bands or female bands. I don't know if you've seen this incognito, but it's AI generated video and AI generated music, and it's this is how I found out about it. Okay, I was just scrolling through my shit, right, and I saw this old guy. He's like in his 40s, like 45, 50-year old, and he's just reacting to like one of these girl bands, and it's kind of creepy because the guy seems a lot older than the musicians he likes. And I got creeped out because I was like, who is generating these teenagers for an elderly audience essentially? So I looked into it, and I was gonna do no, I wasn't gonna do a whole video on it, but I know I looked into it in terms of like, what if this ever escalates and I would want to make a video of it, but I didn't want to put another YouTuber on blast and then in turn another AI YouTuber on blast, and they. So, anyways, yeah, trap. I think that's what it is. Anyway, so I started looking into it. Right, it's very adulterized, right? Like the what the females are doing, like the AI generated. Because I don't want to call them girls, I'm gonna call them women. I just feel creeped out by saying girls, so I'm gonna say women, but they look younger than that. And to me, that's the biggest creepy thing about fucking AI, because there's no vetting what's what, right? So, anyways, this YouTuber, he's super interested in their band to the point that he's always commenting on them. And it's this the comments were so complicated and in depth that I was considering making an entire YouTube video on just his comments. But then again, I didn't want to get into like the realm of potentially cyberbullying. But he's putting this entire love letter and not just love letter, but also like update on his daily life in a comment section. And it'll be like the comment will be a chunky thing of like what I did today, how I feel about you. Then he starts talking about his favorite, girl on there. And you get the impression that he's like having these real conversations with people because he'll be like, oh, I'm gonna call one of them Samantha, right? He'll be like, oh, Samantha, I was just thinking about you the other day and this and that. And then by the end, he'll like sign it off with like kisses and love. And this will be like every video to the point that other people, like their other subscribers, start chiming in and calling him a creep. And then he's made videos where he's now going at it with other YouTubers because they've called him out for being a creep. Um, and so I looked into those other YouTubers, and they're also AI girl bands. Okay, so let's do a quick summary, right? You got a guy, a real guy, all right, and he's really into the AI girl brand. And then another AI girl brand came in to defend this AI girl band because he was going off into it. I don't think he started talking about their feet, but it looked a lot like that's what he wanted to talk about. And again, I didn't I wanted to take screenshots and shit. Like I wanted to do the whole shebang, right? But like, you know what? Nah, I'll if I ran about it on a live stream or whatever, then by all means. But I'm not gonna put somebody on blast this bad. Um because you don't know how stable they are. But anyways, he had done this like response video to one of these haters, right? And he was talking about how he was gonna come forward and go to the police about certain things. And I was like, oh shit, okay. And that's right to me. I was like, how unstable. And the thing about AI is if it's just being randomly generated, whoever's doing it, it costs nothing to them. It's no time at all to them. So sometimes this account responds to him positively, almost like enabling him, which is another reason why I wanted to make a whole effing video about it because they're kind of taking advantage of this guy and because they're using photorealistic AI. Anybody that doesn't know it too well can completely think that okay, these people are real and these women actually like it. Yeah, exactly. So it gets creepy because on one hand, if this individual ever finds out that these people aren't real and it is just some guy, how is he going to act? How is he going to respond? And I think in one of the shorts, this guy was talking about being married. And I was like, does your wife see your YouTube channel? Has she ever been on your YouTube channel? Like his entire YouTube channel is him uh giving a lot of acknowledgement to this AI girl band. They didn't do it for money. They make it. Yeah, exactly. It's literally and it's messed up because like and I've kind of said this before, but okay, if you're gonna do AI, just disclose it. As long as you disclose it, I think most people in general, nobody gives a fuck about you anymore. But they don't. I think when I looked into their hashtags and like their whole thing, like they don't disclose that it's AI. So this guy is literally he's a married man and he's under the impression that these three women out there are into him in some degree. And it's all happening in the comment section. Um there's an AI. Yeah, exactly, right? That to me though that comes like there's a clear acknowledgement to what's going on versus what this YouTube channel, the girl band, they are kind of misleading this one guy. And like we can say, oh well, he's a creep or whatever, and but at the end of the day, it's like it's if somebody is enabling him and telling him that what he's doing or what he's commenting is okay, then that's some other shit. Stops people actually getting out the door. And yeah, exactly right. Um, I don't know. I mean, I I do stand up comedy at a bar, and I never want to flirt with anyone. I go in, I do my jokes, I'm funny, and then it's funny because I'll get compliments, and the last few times it's been mostly women that compliment me, but I don't take it as they're flirting or they're interested in me. I just see it as like, oh, great, you liked it. But in no way do I think like, oh, well, who else liked it, right? Should I go flirt with other like? Nah, I'm like, I'm there to do a job, and as long as that job gets done, I get the hell out. Well, I got one job to do, and that's to make somebody laugh, and then I get the cut of that. That's how I see it. But it how it goes. Wow, we hit the 2 hour mark, people. I swear. Yeah, I'll wrap it up with this one because of what I've been doing. Okay. So I do this, all right, just kind of this whole setup or this live stream to practice stand up comedy too, right? Just talking, getting thoughts organized and being funny from time to time. Sure, Catfish, that's one I watch. And oh, dang, I want to wait, there's AI Catfish. I need to watch that. Has been a major part of them getting more out the victims of their crime. Scammers are the lowest. Yeah, they are the lowest. So low. Loneliness is being made for a new comfort food in regards to connection. Yeah, exactly. Um, so anyway, I had a comedian message me that they wanted to headline the show that I host and that I book. But the way they asked for it was, oh well, I just want to do more time. So I suggested to them, hey, if you're looking to do more time, why don't you live stream? That's what I do. And I practice my material there. Like, look, I got to practice virtually 2 hours of material, right? I know some of this has been a conversation, but still, right? They responded with, I've been doing stand up comedy for so long and I have so much material that I should be headlining little bar shows. And I just wanted to respond with, okay, I don't host a little bar show. Okay. It might be a little bar, but I don't treat it like a little bar show. Okay. I practice my shit. If I'm looking to practice my time, I do it on a live stream. Okay. I don't waste somebody's time by pretending to be a headliner. And that just goes to the whole ego thing, man, where like, dude, you so she this person was gonna like completely treat my show like her little like, oh, tryout. I don't care about it. It's just a little bar show. Um and then you want a headline? I'm supposed to respect that? No, you can't even live stream. You take that as an offense. Love the backdrop, by the way. Thank you so much. This was technically my first painting that I ever did officially. It's house paint, and I just wanted two sides of it, one being abstract and one being reality or realistic. Right now, I have all of these covering, and it will take a moment for me to take all of them out. But yeah, so I have. Can I move this? You can't even see it too good. So if you see like this outline, this is the top part of a fountain. Um, I agree. That's dope. It's great. Thank you so much. Ego and music industry are lovers. Yes. Um. So this is supposed to be a flower, technically, and then I have the moon up there because it's also technically the sun, right? So that's my abstract side, but it's also the night or the whatever night side, and then the day side is the reality side. So this part right here, right? I was talking about being Jehovah's Witness. This is a watchtower. So if you look at one of the Jehovah's Witness magazines, right now it's horribly out of focus, and also this was technically my first painting, so contrast wise it was horrible. Anyways, this right here was supposed to be a Mayan temple, but I didn't really know how to paint back then. So I've always had this kind of as a testament to my first try and my first failure, really. Because I figured, okay, if I'm gonna get into painting, I better start big. And I used every paint on here: oil, house paint, acrylic. There's some parts that I'm not gonna get into the corner over here because it's too blocked off. But I didn't know which ones could mix. I remember I have a very bad painted pirate ship down here in the corner, and I just kept mixing all the tubes of paint together on it. Oh, it was horrible. Oh, it was just horrible. It was the worst way to ever paint anything. It took forever. Layers wouldn't dry right because I was mixing acrylic and oil. Uh, I feel like I was hit by 20 buses. Oh, Jesus. Very fitting for purpose. Yes, yes. All right, then, people. I have ranted. I think I'm going to be heading off for the night. I will be back again. Paint LOL me. Um, Watching spirits to get off me and nothing on the wall. If you want me to paint you, I mean that could be arranged. Um, we could do it just for fun, or you if you actually want it, we could do that. But we will. Yes. Oh, thank you so much, Noctis the cat, and then nice meeting you. And then incognito. I will try to remember. Hopefully it saves the chat. Sometimes I lose the chat when I go mobile. But yes, thank you so much for subscribing. I'm gonna check out your music and try to leave you a comment, give you some support. But love you all. Thank you for sticking around. Honestly, it means a lot. I stayed up the whole stream. Go to sleep, cheese. Please go to sleep. Nice meeting you all. Yes. We will be back. I might be doing a drawing stream, or it might be a paranormal investigation, or I'll just try to do these more often so we can just chat and talk, give updates and stuff. But honestly, literally, love you all. If you, it just means a lot to be heard, to be talked to. So please be safe. All right, and then blessings to Santa Muerte. Okay, can't sleep. Um, Cheese. If you watch my drawing live streams and you just play it, it might knock you out because those they knock me out. Sometimes I go to sleep watching them. But love you all. Please be careful. All right. See ya. Have good weekends. Have good nights.